Hello, and thank you for listening to this Ringside Report Network podcast today. You can find more in-depth, exclusive written content on our website at ringsidereport.net. Before I hand it off to Dave and the team, I want to remind you that we are a listener-supported creator team. On our website, we would appreciate it if you supported our sponsors or purchased our exclusive merch. Branded clothing, mugs, and even jiu-jitsu gear, which are available only in our store. You can become a recurring supporter of our content at membership.ringsidereport.net. This, along with all our podcasts, is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon, iHeart, and TuneIn, wherever you get your podcasts. It would help us immensely if you left a positive review on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon. Thank you for your support and enjoy the show.
Randy Orton versus John Cena one more time. The Rock does damage control after no-showing WrestleMania. We're watching SmackDown. We've seen title changes. Wrestling Uncensored is live. Ooh, yes, indeed. Johnny is here. Johnny is happy. He's celebrating. Look at him in his jersey, his playoff beard he's got going.
And go Habs go, or as I guess in Montreal now, or Quebec we have to say, LA Habs LA now.
That was ludicrous. I saw that whole thing going down.
A little ridiculous, but thank goodness they won tonight, 6-3. They're back in the series now. It's 2-1 series. Both teams lost their starting goaltenders, so almost like a brand new series now when you look at it. It's gonna be very interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a fight on a bench before. The way that went down, that was insane. That was insane, absolutely insane tonight. Like, what a game!
They fought on the bench.
Like, there was a big brawl right at the end of the second period, and I guess the Washington team blocked Montreal from exiting. So then it got into pushing and shoving. Pushing and shoving escalated to, like, they got into the bench. The referee tried to get involved, and the referee went down with them on the bench fighting.
Yo, I got to see clips of that. That's crazy.
I've never seen that before. I think it's happened many, many years ago before we were, like, really knew we were alive, like back in the 80s and maybe 70s. But, wow. Incredible to see that. I don't know if there'll be any suspensions, maybe fines probably, but I'm sure if you look up
I'm
like
watching
Sportsnet
it.
or something.
I'm watching the clip on X right now. Oh, the ref's going down, brother.
Yeah,
oh
the ref goes right down.
This is like a 20-man brawl. That's so crazy. This is a Royal Rumble. Who's this guy, 17? Anderson. Anderson's in the thick of it, brother. Oh, Anderson got taken down. He might be pulling guard. I can't tell. They're behind the bench. Oh, who's this other guy? 77? 71? What's he doing?
That's probably Evans, I think, yeah.
He's getting involved. Oh, they're all brawling.
They're all brawling, yeah.
Who's 80 for the Capitals who's got his helmet off? He looks angry.
Is it Magnify or something?
21 for the Canadians. Goulet?
Goulet, yeah.
Goulet.
Goulet. No, it's pronounced Goulet.
Oh, Goulet. He's spooky.
No, that's Suzuki. Suzuki's spooky. But good on knowing the names.
But if he's Ghoulie, he's like a ghoul, Scary. Halloween. It's not Goulet?
No, it's Goulet. Yeah, Angelo, yeah. It was a great game. And I'll be at 1909 to watch the game on Sunday, so I can't wait for that. Wow. I almost went down because they had a big screen like right in front of the Bell Center. I was thinking of doing that, but it's kind of hard to be here right now. I wanted to delay the show a little bit, so we got on the air a little bit after the game. So going downtown would have been a little crazy. Would have loved it. I was actually downtown just seeing people walk around with their Habs jerseys. It was great to see because it's been a long time since this has happened, right? I mean, yes, there was COVID. Went to Olympic Stadium. That was awesome, but to have everyone there at the Bell Center, full capacity, and then outside as well, it's magical. It's great to see Montreal live like this again.
Yeah, I could tell you're hyped. Johnny is hyped. Bit. The Canadians won. They won 6-3, right? So now the series is 2-1?
That's right.
2-1 for
Game 4
Washington.
is Sunday.
Game 4 is
2-1
Sunday.
for Washington.
At night?
Like Sunday, 6:30 p.m. It's
Cool.
a weird start time, I know.
I didn't
But
watch
both-
any of the hockey game tonight. I watched the Yankees blow it in the 9th to the Jays, which really pissed me off. Devin Williams screwing up again. Terrible new closer. Comes over from Milwaukee. Gets signed to all sorts of money, and he's been blowing games. Blew a 4-run lead in the 9th to the Rays last week. Lost a game. Blows a 2-1 lead tonight. We lose 4-2. Yeah. Didn't hear that strikeout sound enough in the Bronx tonight. Devin Williams, just pathetic. Had to get pulled. Mark Leiter Jr. had to clean up his mess. Ugh. I'm not happy about my sports team, John. I'm pissed that the Yankees lost a game that they should have won. Especially losing to the Jays at home the way they did.
Well,
Distasteful.
look at the positives. Like I told you off air, like
Look at the
still
positives.
still in first place. It's only April, and they didn't lose when you went and watched yet. So
Yeah,
it's positive.
please. I just hope they win when I go see them. You know, I get
That's
to see
it.
one game. I would love to see them win. But if they lose, whatever. At least I still get to see them play baseball, which is fun. We're watching LA Knight and Drew McIntyre wrestle a match right now on SmackDown where the winner will be the #1 contender for Jacob Fatu's United States Championship. LA Knight wants a rematch. He lost the belt at WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre wants something to do. He said Damien Priest is banged up, and he thanks him for the match and embarrassing him in front of his family at WrestleMania. And Drew McIntyre now looking for the United States Championship. He says Cena is no longer the guy he used to be, so he doesn't want to go after the WWE Championship. He wants to go after the toughest, baddest champion on SmackDown, which is Jacob Fatu. Oh, and here's Solo Sikoa attacking LA Knight outside the ring, hitting him with the Samoan spike behind the ref's back and then rolling LA Knight back in the ring. But Drew sees it. Will Drew accept the gift of LA Knight, or will he not? He seems conflicted.
Well, you'd expect LA to win this.
Well, not anymore because LA just got screwed. He just got Samoan spiked outside the ring by Solo. Solo rolled him in the ring. Oh, wait, but here's Damien Priest. I guess it's not over with Priest because he just attacked Drew McIntyre, and this match is over. So we don't have a #1 contender for the U.S. title. That's great.
Sounds like a fatal four-way to me, no?
Yeah, Backlash maybe. That'd be fun. Drew, Priest, L.A., Jacob Fatu.
That sounds about right. Again, like Backlash is what, May 10th? It's not. It's coming up, so they don't have much time to get a lot of matches hyped for this. If this even makes Backlash, when you think about it, because they only have usually 5-6 matches a show, right? So this could be the SmackDown Backlash possibly match.
Yep. Well, doesn't Cena count as a SmackDown match? Cena Randy.
Yeah, well, that's going to make Backlash. That won't make the SmackDown Backlash, right?
Oh, you mean SmackDown Backlash, like this the SmackDown the night before Backlash? Okay.
That's right, yeah.
I understand now. I was a little confused. Cena versus Randy Orton is going to happen one more time at Backlash in St. Louis for the WWE Championship. That was made official when Cena and Randy cut that promo to start off the show. I know you were watching the hockey game. I don't know how much of SmackDown you got to see, but that promo was pretty fantastic.
Yeah, the open promo was fantastic. I definitely saw that.
Wow.
I really liked that. I loved how Randy's like, what's wrong with you, Cena? You know what you need? You need to have some kids. I'm like, that was fantastic when he said that to Cena.
You like this?
I really want. Well, I wondered how you thought about it, because that kind of hit home for you a little bit. You know, like it changes you. I mean, I think you'll admit it does.
Yeah. When he said that, I was like, oh, get him, Randy. I was sitting there with my son. I was like, yep, Randy is correct. I was wondering how you felt seeing that as a man without children, where Cena, as the heel, without children is being portrayed as the heel, and Randy's kind of calling him out. Like, he says, Cena, kids look up to you, all the Make-A-Wish stuff. I know that means something to you. This guy that you are now, this isn't who you really are. You need to fill the hole inside of you, and what you really need to do is you need to have kids, be a father, and grow up. Which was like, wow, kind of shocking. And then Cena goes, well, Randy, how dare you parent shame me? And I don't have kids because I spent the last 25 years raising their kids in the audience, those people. And I've been a better parent to your children than you could ever be. And then he's going after the people in the audience. Like, Cena was really healing out on the people. More than I think he ever has before, because I think Randy kind of hit him with something. The crowd reacted, and Cena was, like, mad. He seemed mad.
Well, he really targeted someone, too, right? Someone with a kid or something. He really went after him a lot, and the camera never went towards that guy, so it looked like, Cena was bothered by something a bit.
Like, there was a kid... Cena was like, oh, there's a kid flipping me off. That's really good. Good parenting. Your dad is a loser. He kept saying that the dad was a loser. Like, Cena was just going after specific people in the crowd. And Randy says Cena is just a guest while he's here to stay, and he's got the respect of his peers, and Cena's just kind of part-time, shows up every now and then. And Cena says, well, the audience, you're all hypocrites. I try to do something different, and I get labeled a guest. I mean, whatever, Cena. Cena was, like, really shaken, I think, by Randy. Randy went after him on a personal level. It was surprising. I didn't think he would say that about Cena. You need to grow up and have kids because, like, look at you. I don't know. I think there's something to that. I think it gives you a different perspective to life. So, I don't know. It was an interesting line by Randy. I'm not going to argue with Randy. I agree with him. I have kids. I think it's the way to go. It was my choice, so obviously I think it's the way to go, What am I going to say? I agree.
Well, what I liked about this was how Randy, for so long, was the true villain, right, of Cena versus Orton. Like, he was, like, if not the number one heel, I would argue that besides Triple H, he's right there, Randy Orton, at that point in time. So, the kind of, like, show that he's changed, that kind of helped a lot, I think. Was him saying that, like, kids changed him. And that's what Cena needs to change. Because Cena, he doesn't recognize him anymore. He said, like, he was the same guy, and now he's changed. This is what he's missing, because this is what helped me.
Yeah. It was a good promo from Randy Orton. It was really good, and it ended with Randy wanting a match right now, because Cena said, Cena is hammering home this point, and he said it on Raw. This championship, the WWE Championship, this is the title that Bruno Sammartino held. This is the Hulk Hogan Championship. This is the Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is the Shawn Michaels Triple H Championship. This is the belt that all of those guys held. It has the lineage. And Cena's saying that he's going to take all that and retire with it, and he'll be the last real champion in the WWE. They'll create a new championship, but it won't mean anything, because he'll be the last real champion. He also put how many dates he has left on the big screen on Raw, which I thought was a cool move. 27 dates. 26 now after tonight.
Yep.
26 more times. We got to count it down, Johnny. 26 more John Cena appearances. And when it was a number on the screen on Raw, you go, wow. After all these years, after seeing him week after week, show after show on everything, force-fed to you by Vince McMahon for years and years, to be watching him cut a promo on Raw saying there's only 27 more appearances, and then that's it. it was something. It had some gravity to the moment because you go, wow, this is it. He's going away. 27 more times you're going to see John Cena, and the countdown is on. 26 now. That's not that many more John Cena appearances considering how many times we have seen this guy throughout the years over and over again, and you figured you'd see him forever. But he's going away, John. 26 more times.
Did you see the R-Truth thing? Yeah, he's with R-Truth here.
He's talking to Ronald Truth. I don't know what Ronald said to him. I didn't have the captions on. I didn't have my volume on either.
Well, I was glad he won the title. You were my hero at the beginning. If you need me anytime, give me a call.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Cena says he's leaving the WWE with the WWE Championship. And I got to say, it is a good story because I don't want him to. Like, he better not.
Okay. Why?
Because that championship, the WWE Championship, does have the history, does have the lineage, and it is one of the only championships in pro wrestling that actually means anything nowadays. It's got so much history. And to retire that with John Cena or with anybody, I think would be a total disservice to the history of professional wrestling. You could trace the championship back to, what, Buddy Rogers?
I believe you're right about that, yeah.
I mean, that's a long time. That's like 70, 80 years of history for this championship. Why would you let that go? Why would you ever say, you know what, let's start fresh and make a new belt? Why? You have one that means everything.
You're not wrong, but we've seen them do it in the past. They've officially retired the Universal Championship. The WWE Championship is no longer considered the Undisputed Championship anymore. It is now just the WWE Championship, even though I think they're all still calling it sometimes the Undisputed Championship, and Cena said he'd be the last undisputed WWE champion. They've officially retired the Universal title from it. It's no longer considered part of the WWE title.
It's about 60 years. 62 years? WWE Championship?
It's a long time.
Universal title didn't have that type of history.
Not even close.
Hulk Hogan didn't hold the Universal Championship. The Nature Boy Buddy Rogers was the first recognized WWF champion, and he won it in April 1963 in Washington, D.C. Bruno Sammartino took it from him in May of 63 and held it until January of 71 when he lost it to Ivan Koloff, who then dropped it the next month to Pedro Morales, who held it for a couple of years before losing it to Stan Stasiak in 73. Stasiak lost it 9 days later to Bruno Sammartino, and then Bruno held it for 4 years, losing it to 77 to the superstar Billy Graham, who we saw on Dark Side of the Ring this week.
We did, yeah. Great episode.
And then Superstar, of course, we know, lost it to Bob Backlund back in 1978. Do you hear these names I'm mentioning? These are historical figures in the history of professional wrestling. And you could trace this championship from Bob Backlund, from Superstar Billy Graham, to Antonio Inoki, to the Iron Sheik, to Hulk Hogan, to Andre the Giant, to the Macho Man Savage, to the Ultimate Warrior, to Ric Flair, to Bret Hart, to Yokozuna, to Hulk Hogan, to Diesel, to Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Mankind, The Rock. You could trace the history of how these titles change hands from one guy to another throughout the 60-plus years of the WWE Championship. That can't go away with John Cena. So when he says he's going to do that, I go, no! It's a good angle because I'm like, you can't do that, John Cena. I care about that. It's something I actually care about. And he's playing with it. And I go, oh, you better not, you rascal. Don't do that, you dirty dog, you John Cena. John Cena is saying he's going to retire the WWE Championship that he currently holds. He's going to walk away with the championship. They can make a new belt, but it won't be the real one. It won't have the lineage. That would suck. And then, which is super funny, John, which we can talk about Jey Uso, but 3 segments later, Jey Uso's coming out to celebrate winning the world title that John Cena just told us means nothing. Jey Uso's real happy about it. So is Sami Zayn and Jimmy. And that's all they were, is just happy on Raw. It's weird. Nobody interrupted or attacked them. They're just like, yeah. I was like, okay, that's odd. But, Cena's just talking about how much the other belts mean nothing. And then Jey Uso comes out being like, I'm happy about this. But really, we know the truth. That belt didn't main event WrestleMania. Cena's belt did, because it's the WWE Championship. It's the important one. It's the one that Cody held. It's the one that Roman held. It's not the one that Damien Priest and Gunther and Jey Uso are holding, because that one doesn't mean as much. It opened the show. Didn't close any show. That's what I'm talking about. The WWE Championship has that extra value. Cena can't take it from me, John. I won't allow it. If Cena wins, we riot.
Well, I think when you look on it, it's mainly because they have 2 shows, right? So they needed a world champion on the other show that didn't have the WWE title, so they'd introduce World Heavyweight, they'd introduce Universal, and now we have another World Heavyweight again. That's what they did just because they felt they needed 2 World Heavyweight champions. I never felt they did. I always liked it when there was Undisputed Champion, but for some reason, WWE, everyone needs a title, and we need to have over 14 championships for some reason. So, if anything now, this World Heavyweight title is a glorified IC title, I find. And the IC title is kind of like European title almost now in a sense.
You're not wrong.
By the way, there's a TLC match going on right now as we're talking. There's a lot of chaos right now happening. So
yeah, there's the Street Profits, the DIY, and the Motor City Machine Guns in a TLC, and it's just starting to get cooking right now. They're going all over the place. I saw Gargano throw a chair in a guy's face. Is that Alex Shelley?
Did Ciampa go over a table or something as well?
Yeah, there's a lot of chaos. And the Street Profits are dressed like Shawn Michaels.
He did have a good record in ladder matches.
Sucking up to the boss, brother. That's how you get ahead. That's how you retain your tag team championship. We have a new women's United States champion. Chelsea Green dropped it to Zelina Vega tonight. Zelina Vega, your new champion. Big night for her. Her husband returned as well. Alistair Black back in the WWE after his journey in AEW as Malachi. He's now black as Alistair Black. And he attacked The Miz with a kick to the head, which was, it took forever. The entrance was it took forever. Nothing really happened.
And we'll get the match next week. Miz and Black.
Wow, I can't wait.
I figured you'd be very excited for that.
Ridiculous. Rusev came back on Raw, so they're bringing in the guys that went to AEW for a bit and just kind of floundered in the mid-card. The guys, that said WWE wouldn't let them do anything creatively, and they were really finally free in AEW, and oh man, it's so good. And then when they were allowed to do stuff creatively, you went, yeah, what the hell is this? And now they're back in WWE to get the machine behind them, and hopefully it could work, but I think they'll kind of be in the Andrade pile pretty soon.
The Rusev return was very awkward. I don't know how you felt about it.
It was awful.
I felt it was kind of misused in a sense. Like maybe during the match, not before the match even starts, and just to come out and beat up like Alpha Academy, like Tozawa and Otis, that's low level. That's not a great debut whatsoever. I don't have high hopes for Rusev, sadly. I want to, but I don't think they have high hopes.
I don't know why they brought him back. Just because he was available?
He looks great, though.
Yeah.
He looks like he's in great shape.
I guess. I don't see much going for them or for Alistair Black or whatever. I don't know.
I mean, if he gets Lana back with them, that could be something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's funny. They publicly talk about how AEW is not competition and how they're not impressed with AEW and they're rinky-dink and blood and guts and whatever. But, like, as soon as an AEW talent becomes available, they sign them.
Well, they're lying, obviously. Like, AEW is competition.
I mean, Ricky Starks, Rusev, Alistair Black, Ethan Page, Cody, right? They are apparently going to offer Mariah May some massive deal to come over. Like, come on. Who are we kidding here?
On Penta as well, Phoenix. I mean, there's many you can say now.
So many.
Think about it.
If you're in AEW and you come to WWE, you're going to get a push. You're going to get something. Goodness.
But I imagine people from TNA probably felt the same way. Like, AEW's taking all the TNA talent. They took all the talent from New Japan. So, sure, everyone will have complaints in some capacity in some way.
What about John Cena and Randy Orton in St. Louis? I mean, Randy's not going to take it from Cena, right? That's not happening. Does anyone believe he does?
Will? I really hope he does. This Cena reign, I don't want it lasting long whatsoever. Like, he's supposed to go all the way to December. Please lose it right away. Get this over. Like, Cena just, come back as a face, end it, and be a happy goody two-shoes again. End it like that. Nice farewell song in Boston. And lose to Randy. Because Randy's better than you, like, in every way possible right now. Come on. Like, he was better than him before. I mean, now it's laughable looking at it. Like, Randy looks so, like, did you not see when they were in the ring? Like, Randy was always bigger. Now it's like, it's going to be embarrassing when Cena takes his shirt off now.
Randy's way bigger than him, and he's moving way better as well. Cena's not moving well. This match at Mania was awful. Everybody's mad at John Cena right now and the WWE and everything and how Mania went down. It's been universally panned. Everybody is hating what happened at Mania, and especially what happened with John Cena and Cody and the lack of Rock and just the lack of continuity in that story. Yeah, maybe they do pull the plug on this whole Cena run and realize it's just not going the way they thought it would. But I don't see it. I don't see Randy doing it in St. Louis. I think, if I had to bet who's going to be the one to take it from Cena, it would be Roman Reigns or maybe Cody Rhodes. One of those guys.
I mean, you'd think Cody right away, like Cody lost it here, but he's going to get it back kind of thing.
SummerSlam.
Shouldn't take that. Yeah, probably SummerSlam. I was going to think actually like Survivor Series, like, because they got to drag it out for Cena. This is long until he retires, right?
Yeah.
So, but I would think, maybe you're right. It's possible SummerSlam. 1 or 2 Money in the Bank. I mean, whoever wins Money in the Bank, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. And Cody seems to be taking time off, right? He's not around.
I think a lot of people are taking time off.
Bianca.
Now, looks like. Well, she revealed she's injured, right?
Is she actually hurt?
All that. Yeah, apparently, I guess she broke her fingers. I'm going to guess it was on that finish. That was rough to take that finish.
That match was great.
I mean, it was the match of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
No question about that.
Yeah. So Bianca's hurt. Cody's taking time off. Like, it's a bit of a post-Mania relaxing time. Cody should take time off. Like, the guy was running very hard as WWE champion for a year, working a lot. Yes. He's got to be hurting.
I felt like maybe if he wasn't on every week, it felt like he was doing something. Like if he wasn't on Raw, if he wasn't like on SmackDown, he was at least doing like a house show here or there. It always felt like he was always see Cody around doing something, making appearances. Cody was, the whole year it just felt it was all about Cody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think he's deserved a little bit of time off. Now, I don't know, that maybe I sent it to you, maybe I didn't, but I'm sure you caught that whole like roast of WrestleMania that came out, right?
Yeah.
That to me is very controversial that WWE has already like taken away from the internet, because that was really bad stuff. I can't believe that happened.
Yeah, it was terrible. I've seen, I've heard a bunch of clips that leaked. Right. Apparently, they took some people's phones. Like, you weren't supposed to have your phone, but some people got their phone in anyways and recorded some stuff and put it online. Because of course they did. And the WWE didn't think that they would, obviously, because they let their people say all sorts of dumb stuff. Like, I've lost all respect for Paul Heyman forever now. Forever.
Yeah.
There's no coming back from this for Paul Heyman. He said so many racist, vile things disguised as jokes that it's just like, oh, this is what he really thinks. He's just a bad guy. He's just a bad guy.
I think a lot of people wouldn't be surprised, though. I think a lot of people have suspected that about Paul Heyman, so...
I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, well, that's it. Now it's like, now it's 100%.
And then Heyman was just like drunk off the energy, and he goes on Pat McAfee's show, and he continues with racist tirades and just nonsense. Going nuts. He's lost it.
Well, he was bad. Like that line about Jerry Lawler, like, jeez. Like, I'm surprised he's not fired for that. Like, the fact that came out at all, that's really bad.
Goodness. And it's just like, it's not jokes. And it's not how you do a roast. First of all, the things weren't funny. They weren't really jokes. It was just mean things to say about people to get a reaction.
Yep.
Like, they're not comedians. They didn't seem to have anybody writing their jokes. A lot of times when you see these celebrity roasts on TV, you have comedians like writing the jokes for you. And hell, maybe they did, but the comedians are also bad and racist. Like, I heard Tony Hinchcliffe's bits. They were awful, talking about Shinsuke Nakamura eating dogs. Like, it was disgusting. It was disgusting.
Was it him that mentioned...
They should be ashamed of themselves, the whole damn crew. And, for Sami Zayn to play the good guy and, he's there with them. You're part of it. Yep. I'm not saying quit the WWE. I'm not saying do any of that. But, like, maybe bow out of the Tony Hinchcliffe show, considering you got to be aware of, the kind of comedy he does and the things that he says and the things that he stands for. And to me, if you're Sami Zayn and you really stand for the things that he claims to stand for, he wouldn't want to be associated with Tony Hinchcliffe. But there he is. Maybe he's just so desperate to be involved in the comedy world that he'll buddy up to anybody. But I was surprised that he was there. Wasn't surprised that Nia Jax was there. Nia Anti-Vax Jax. Fucking idiot. Big dummy. Saying a bunch of rude, terrible things. Because she's a bad person.
The stuff about Charlotte, like, that's just way too much. Like, ridiculous.
She said horrible things about Charlotte who wasn't even in the room. They're not jokes. It's just, like, mean things.
Yeah.
That I'm not even going to repeat, but, like, man, going after her divorce, going after her face, going after everything. How about some jokes about Nia Jax? How about this, John? Here's a roast joke about Nia Jax. John, Nia Jax, her cousin's The Rock. She likes to remind everybody that her cousin's The Rock. The Rock would like us all to forget. Because Nia Jax sucks.
Well, we did see Nia on SmackDown, and apparently her and Tiffany are going to be in a feud again, what it looks like.
People are upset that Bayley was left off WrestleMania. No one noticed that Nia Jax was left off WrestleMania. And it's hard to miss Nia Jax.
So we'll roast a bit here, I guess we have. But yeah, I didn't really worry about it too much. I mean, the main thing was just no Battle Royal. That kind of was a bummer for the women, but that was about it.
You know, Nia Jax is related to The Rock. I just have to mention that again. I don't think I have to mention she's also related to Yokozuna. That goes without saying. Seems obvious.
I saw a very painful splash.
That was awesome.
I think it's
Nia Jax sucks. She's awful. She's just terrible. And she said that she hurt all the women on the roster and she didn't care. I mean, she's just... And that's not a joke. That's real. She doesn't care. Nothing funny about it. Like, there's no punchline.
Not so much. No. I mean, none of it was
crazy.
Funny.
It was crazy. And, like, you knew when they announced it, it was a bad idea. And then they're like, it's not... And then they're like, it's not going to be televised. You can only see it if you go. And it's like, okay, they're going to try and keep it whatever. But obviously stuff leaked and people were shocked at some of the horrible, sexist, misogynistic, racist things that were said during that WWE sanctioned event with many of their talent participating.
That they charged people to go to.
Of course. They charged people to go to everything. It was crazy. It was not like hearing some of the stuff. Like I wasn't surprised, but I was just more delighted with WWE. They're gonna be in trouble for this. You know, I just like to see them screw up this badly.
Well, they're gonna say they made so many millions off this WrestleMania.
Okay.
I feel this might cost them millions in the end.
Mm-hmm.
One, for the bad publicity, and just like, I feel that a lot of injuries too, if you look at it. Like, a lot of people were hurt going into it. I think a lot of people are hurt going out of this too.
Yup.
Oof. That was a crazy ladder bump right there.
Oh, man. Ciampa just put Montez through a ladder. That was nuts. This match has been pretty good.
Crunch.
They're doing a lot of big bumps. Big bumps here in this one. For the tag team titles. Yeah, I mean, I think WWE is coming off this week with a lot of bad PR. I think they look pretty bad after this. I think a lot of people with WWE that watch WWE are pretty disgusted with a lot of things that they've done this week. They're disgusted with WrestleMania, or they're disgusted with the roast, or both, or more than that, you know?
Yeah.
There's just a lot of offensive things. The Rock coming out, like people were mad at The Rock, right? Because he didn't show up at WrestleMania. And then The Rock goes on Pat McAfee's show, like, was it on Monday or Tuesday?
I think Tuesday. And he's like, well, see, I was never supposed to be part of any of this. I was only part of this at Elimination Chamber because Ari Emanuel, the big boss, called me personally to ask me to appear because they weren't selling tickets for Money in the Bank. No, sorry, Elimination Chamber at Skydome. Yeah. Right. Great table bump, by the way, we just saw.
Yeah, that was nuts. I don't even know what you call that. That was crazy. Motor City Machine Guns and Johnny Gargano just went through the table.
Slingshot crossbody.
Neckbreaker, slingshot crossbody combo through the table.
Yeah.
Two guys were standing on the table. It didn't even break, which is kind of nuts. They're light. Still.
The Rock. Yeah. Like he had his excuse. It's not his fault. Don't blame The Rock.
Don't blame The Rock. It's not my fault. I was doing them a favor. Triple H's boss's boss, you know? Like, Triple H and Nick Khan's boss, Ari Emanuel, he calls me to ask me to move tickets for Elimination Chamber. This is what Ari Emanuel is concerned with? This guy's a big-time player. He's, he's Dana White's boss and Triple H's boss and Nick Khan's boss. He runs the whole show. He's calling The Rock to appear at Chamber because they're not selling tickets in Toronto? Really? Like, I find that part of the story hard to believe. That Ari calls The Rock and goes, Ari's concerned about ticket sales for the Chamber now? This is what he's doing? I'm surprised. Like, I don't really buy that part of the story. As Tommaso Ciampa is suspended above the ring, like holding on to the belt things, and now they got a table under him, and they got Dawkins on top of a ladder who's gonna...
Oh, it didn't work out. They tried.
He speared him. I mean, he speared him down through the table.
That was no edge.
No, but it was pretty sweet.
It wasn't even close to edge quality.
It was a big bump, John. It was a big bump.
Yeah, but he landed...
Ciampa took a pretty good bump there. I mean, damn. I mean, Ciampa took a bump on his tailbone, too. He didn't land flat back. He landed on his ass. That's rough for Ciampa.
It killed Ciampa, but Dawkins, he didn't bump that too well.
Yeah, Dawkins, kind of saved himself, and Ciampa suffered the consequences.
There's no edge.
Angelo Dawkins is not edge? Yeah, no shit.
But he tried. That was the spot they were going for, clearly.
Yeah, they were trying to do the Edge Jeff Hardy thing, but it was not as good as Edge. Yeah, I just don't buy that Ari called Dwayne, but maybe he did. Nevertheless, I mean, what is that story? So he was never supposed to be there, but then he was, so they rushed the Cena heel turn because the Cena heel turn was supposed to happen at Mania, but it didn't happen then. It happened at the Chamber because The Rock was there. Then what was all that Cody sell your soul stuff? What was all of that?
That's separate, apparently, and they're going to deal with that later. That's not part of what's supposed to happen, I guess.
So did Cena sell his soul?
Well, again, that's all later stuff. The soul stuff is for later. That's what The Rock said.
That's what The Rock says. The Rock buried creative.
He didn't say Triple H's name, but
he's like...
I think by not saying Triple H's name, he buried him.
Yeah. And he's like, the finish... for Mania, I would have done that, but I would have got there a little bit different way. Like, he's like...
Totally buried him.
Yeah, totally burying him, because everybody's mad at the way that match ended at the finish, and Rock's like, yeah, that would have been the ending with Cena on top, but I would have done it a different way, and, burying Triple H. Burying the creative. Which is so funny. Because, I still don't think they get along. I think The Rock has hated Shawn Michaels for years, and I think he probably still does.
And they're the two bosses when you think about it, too. When they talk about creative, like, Shawn Michaels is right up there. Shawn came out at WrestleMania, right? He had one of the moments talking about the attendance.
Yeah.
They gave that to him.
Kissed Triple H right on his lips at the Hall of Fame. The fuck was that? It was crazy.
Well, I think the Street Profits are about to win here.
Yeah, Montez has got the belts. He's going to win. The Street Profits retain the tag titles in a pretty kick-ass main event on SmackDown. Crowd on their feet.
Well, after the title change we saw earlier with Selena, I didn't think we were going to see another one.
Me neither.
A good match.
Yeah, very good. Those guys put their bodies on the line. This was their WrestleMania match.
Yes.
They delivered, too. It felt like a big match. Bigger than SmackDown,
The SmackDown after WrestleMania, right? I'm sure that's what they'll call it.
Yeah. They didn't get the match last week. This was announced last week. They didn't get to work Mania, so this is their big Mania match. It was good.
No, it was decent. Like, I don't know what you thought. Like, I actually thought SmackDown... Again, I may have been a bit distracted, but I enjoyed SmackDown more than I enjoyed Raw this week.
SmackDown had its ups and downs. The main event was good. Drew in LA kind of went nowhere. Zelina and Chelsea was okay. I didn't think much of Alistair Black's thing. Randy and Cena promo I thought was the best. Randy and Cena promo and then the main event were very good. Everything else was like kind of there. I didn't care to see the Fraxium and Garza's match. Like, what the hell was that? Couldn't believe that was on TV.
Well, they're debuting new talent, right? So they're just showcasing them. I thought they actually looked all right. I didn't mind that. Again, from what I saw, I was a little distracted, but from what I saw, it didn't look that bad. And Raw didn't exactly have the greatest matches in the world this week either.
No,
I don't know what you thought of. Like, I thought Dom and Penta was okay, but I don't think it was as good as the TLC match.
No,
TLC was better than that. So
yeah, but Dom and Penta had a match at Mania, so it didn't have to be. They already did their match, and their match at Mania was very good. The 4-way.
Definitely much better than what we saw on Raw, that's for sure. Yeah, no, that's another thing, too. A lot of guys are kind of probably tired, beat up. It's been long. I mean, that women's tag on Raw, I didn't really like it at WrestleMania, and I thought the Raw one was even worse. So, shows you how bad it can get sometimes.
Yeah.
The Becky turn, that's a big reason why you saw that whole Sammy and Jimmy thing do the hug thing, because they already did a turn earlier, so they couldn't do another turn.
Yeah. But that Sammy, Jimmy, and Jay thing was really pointless. Becky turned on Lyra Valkyria after Lyra lost the tag titles. They had just won the night before at WrestleMania. Liv and Raquel now 4-time or 5-time champs. That's crazy. 4-time champs. They are the tag team champions once again, which is cool.
I think Raquel's won it 5 times because she won it with Aaliyah, if I'm not mistaken, right? The first time it was Liv. So,
I'd like to see Becky now heel join up with Heyman and Seth, and now Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker, who is with them as well, joined up with Seth and Heyman to attack CM Punk and Roman Reigns at the end of the show, laying them all out.
That was all right. I thought Cena and Orton is still better than that, but I enjoyed the whole addition of Braun. I think that adds a nice little twist to that, and I'm looking forward to hopefully getting a tag match of that. Of getting Punk and Roman against Braun and Seth. I think that could be pretty good.
That's a good match for Backlash. I'd love that.
We're overbooking Backlash here. Is there not another PLE in May? If I'm not mistaken, no?
There's a Saturday night's main event.
Okay, well, they might, See, they might say matches for that then.
Yeah. Saturday night's main event.
I feel they're
May
going back
24th.
to Saudi Arabia. No, Saudi Arabia not getting another show soon?
Not that I know of. Not that they've announced, I don't think.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see it in May or June.
Yeah. Ryan Katz, I see him in the chat. He says, I was waiting for Sammy to yank Jay off the top rope. I was too. When Sammy and Jay, they're celebrating, they're having this nice time. Sammy's congratulating Jey Uso, saying he was really upset that he wasn't at WrestleMania, but he had to be there to see Jay win his championship, and he's so proud of him, and they hug, and it's a nice moment, and they go and they celebrate with the crowd. They're yeeting, and then Sammy gets off the top rope, and he's watching Jay on the top rope still celebrating, and it really looked like, even the crowd was kind of like, oh, it seemed like Sammy was going to attack. Like, the crowd was expecting it, right? They were reacting before anything happened, and then nothing happened. They just hugged again, and then Big Jim came out, and they all hugged and celebrated and danced and yeeted and then went to the back. It was like a nothing segment. Nothing happened. You were kind of expecting it to happen, and then it never went anywhere.
I think, if anything, maybe you put Sammy on SmackDown, especially because you're coming to Montreal. I think that's a better move to make at this point. By the way, with SmackDown coming to Montreal, and I saw the setup for it, it doesn't look like they're going to have the whole Bell Center, or it's not set up for the whole Bell Center right now.
Not yet.
Not yet. But if it's not going to be like that, I think you're not going to get Cena for this. I don't think it's going to be one of his appearances, sadly. I mean, if it's not going to be the whole Bell Center, if they're not setting up for that, I don't think it's the plan to get Montreal. I don't think Montreal sells out. I don't think you're getting Cena.
Man, don't you understand how they work? If they're not selling out, they're going to get Cena so that they can sell out. Didn't you hear what The Rock said?
Well, maybe you'll get The Rock. That's it. But
Cena that's it. Certain... just The Rock. That sucks.
It would be actually better if you think about it.
Way better. You kidding me?
Well, wouldn't you want Cena one more time? I mean, because you're all worried about 27 times left. Like,
I'm not worried. It's just like it's kind of crazy that we're at that point where he's like almost done. We're at the finish line.
We need to.
Yeah, it's fine.
We should have been at that finish line years ago, to be honest.
I'm not complaining. I'm just like, there's a weight of the moment. It's like, wow, no more Cena. It's almost done. Seen him so many times. Like, we've seen him so many times, John. Week after week after week. And now it's like, oh, there's only a few more, and then we don't have to deal with him anymore. But yeah, they haven't. I think they've opened most of the tickets, John. I'm looking at the map right now. I don't know what you're talking about.
From what I saw, like, you're going to tell me they've sold the 400s already? I don't think they have.
They haven't opened those up yet, but they don't open those up until they sell, like, pretty much everything else. Like, there's the 101 and the 102 sections that they haven't opened up. The hard cam, where the hard cam sits, because they only open those up when they sell out the rest of the lower bowl, which they will do. They're selling out section by section. There's fewer tickets. I mean, tickets just went on sale officially today for the SmackDown show in August. They're going to sell tickets, John. I got my tickets on Wednesday on a pre-sale.
Well, remember the last time they came for Raw? Like, they sold a decent amount. You were there for the last Raw they were here for. Mm-hmm. Like you said, it was pretty full, but it wasn't quite full.
Ryan Katz in the chat saying Evenko has Cena advertised for SmackDown.
Oh, well, there you go. You may get lucky then.
Do they really? I don't see that anywhere.
I mean, he's the WWE champion. He should be advertised, right?
He's on the poster. I don't know what that means. But the poster for the show has Cena, Charlotte, Cody, Randy, Bianca, Nia, and Tiffy. I don't know if that's real, though.
Well, it seems kind of generic, sadly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you never know. Again, he's the champion. He should be on the show.
One last time in Montreal would make sense, too.
I just worry, like you said, though, 26 now, and Backlash, he's there for sure, so really 25. He's going to be one of those 25s? I mean, fingers crossed for it, but wait and see.
Yeah, I'm fine not seeing him, though, too. Like, if I didn't buy a ticket to see John Cena. You know what I mean? I've seen John Cena a bunch of times. I saw him win the WWE Championship in Boston in a Money in the Bank.
Well, also at Breaking Point in Montreal, we saw that.
There you go. But I saw him win the title in Boston, which, felt like a real historic moment. To win in front of his people, they loved it. No, it was in a Money in the Bank. It was in a Money in the Bank match. The title was vacant because Daniel Bryan vacated it after Mania.
Oh, that was... But you've also seen him be Jericho Survivor Series, didn't you?
Yeah, but I think he was champion going in. He didn't win the title there. He just retained, I think. Okay. Yeah, okay. But Cena winning the title, like, a bunch of guys, and then Cena on top in the end with another title reign, like, the fans went nuts. It was like his second to last title reign before this one. It was his 15th, I think,
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. It was a big deal. And in Boston, to win your 15th, like, it was cool to see. The crowd went nuts. They love Cena in Boston.
Ryan, you spent a bit, but I'll tell you, Dave spent more, so much more than that, actually.
A little bit.
I think it's not a little bit.
You don't know.
Because, it's not just you going. I know that for a fact. So
I did buy 3 tickets.
There you go.
In the Reds, so. Yeah.
Dave's got great tickets.
I
You'll
do
probably
have
see
good
Dave.
seats. I like to get good seats when I go to a thing. I don't like to,
Well,
It was an
we'll be looking
expensive.
for
It
you.
was an expensive week. I had to buy SmackDown tickets and pre-order the Nintendo Switch, so there was a lot of expenses going on.
And amiibos. So yes.
Correct, 7 of them, and I got them all secured, John. So don't you worry. I know you were worried.
Wow. Well, I'm not surprised, to be honest.
You know me. I got all 4 Zelda ones. I got the 3 Street Fighter ones. I pre-ordered the console with the Mario Kart bundle. And I got a Switch Pro controller as well. Pre-ordered the whole kit. I didn't get the camera yet. I'm still thinking about it, but I think I'm going to get it because what the hell? What are you going to do? Nintendo's got me.
Wow. Impressive.
Nintendo's got me more than WWE's got me. They got me big time. But I am going to SmackDown. I'm looking forward to it. Man, WWE comes here once a year. Splurge on tickets a little bit,
Well, is it not a little bit after SummerSlam? I want to say SummerSlam is going to be more likely at the end of July this year, or just at the beginning of August.
When is SummerSlam? WWE SummerSlam. It's 2 nights, I think.
Oh my goodness! I think you're right. If not
August
mistaken.
2nd and 3rd. So it'll be the week after SummerSlam.
Wow.
SmackDown here the 8th. So yeah. Week after SummerSlam.
I mean, we tend to see who you see happen. I mean, because SummerSlam, you never know what could happen, right? People get hurt or something, or it happens.
Man, it is so hard to predict what's going to happen on a random episode of SmackDown in August. I mean, we couldn't really fully predict what's going to happen in 2 weeks. Come on.
And the draft is going to happen too, right?
Is it?
Is it? Yeah, I throw that out there. I don't know either.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think there's going to be a shakeup, regardless. If it's not a draft, there'll be a shakeup.
A shakeup, pal. Superstar shakeup. So Becky turned heel. Seth has a group. Should Becky join Seth's group?
I think it makes the most sense to have that happen. It would just add to that group. I feel a lot of people are saying this. Heyman's getting his new Dangerous Alliance. If that's the case, it needs to be more than just 2 people.
Yeah.
He had a female in his old Dangerous Alliance. I think he had another tag team in that as well, if not mistaken. So his group needs to get bigger.
Who do you add to the group if you were to add somebody else, another dude? Besides Becky, somebody else, a man or 2.
What? I'm not saying it has to be New Day, but New Day is great as heels right now. That's the problem with a lot of guys right now who are heels. They aren't doing a good job as heels. New Day is fantastic as heels right now. So I'd actually put them, but that makes them a super group in a sense where it's this group will totally be booed, and all the other heels are going to be garbage because a lot of them don't wrestle as heels. This is a problem I have with Dominic Mysterio and Judgment Day. A lot of those guys just wrestle let's just pop the crowd. As heels, that's terrible that you do that. I get why they do that, but you're not true heels then if you do that.
At what point does the New Day turn babyface because they're so good at being this?
Oh, they're not there yet. The crowd hates them a lot.
Man, they got there the first time around. Original New Day. Took a little while, but they got there. We're already there. I'm really enjoying everything they do because they're great. I've always enjoyed everything they've done. So this is great. They're making it work. The crowd is hating them, but I feel like at a certain point they're going to go with it because they're so fun. They're so good.
I don't know. They've done a better job than John Cena has, where John Cena's I'm going to take things away. I mean, he kind of did with the whole, I took your Titantron away, but that's kind of lame. He still looks exactly the same. Still pretty much wrestles the same as well. It does all the same stuff. For what he can at this point in his career. He pretty much does what he can. But New Day took the music, took away a lot of the look, and they, sure they do some moves the same, but not in the same way they used to do it anymore. And they're definitely cheat as much as possible. They wrestle like heels. They're fantastic. Like, eventually it's going to happen, but we're definitely not there yet. I think the people really like to boo them. They know what to do. They know how to get people to get mad, and they don't strive away from that. They stick to the game plan.
I agree, but, we both see it coming. Eventually the fans are just going to be like, these guys, we love these guys. Come on.
But they do a good job of getting heat.
Yeah.
They had Big E that they kind of picked on a bit. They'll find other people to pick on too.
Yeah.
They're good at that.
I saw that whole Big E thing as like, well, they're using E one more time to kind of jumpstart this new thing, and he's a part of it. And, obviously they love E. They don't resent E or hate E. They love him, and E wanted to do this for them. Like, it's all a show, and I don't believe anything that they said. But, man, when they delivered it, it was just so rough and brutal. And, it turned them heel in a major way. Fans really responded to that promo when they turned on Big E and blamed him for breaking his neck and ending his career. And now they've really kept it up. But, when they're in there cutting the promos and Xavier Woods, I think the problem is with the New Day, the thing that I see, the issue I see is that they have catchphrases that people are going to start saying. When Xavier Woods comes out and says, "Thank God for the New Day," at what point are the fans going to start chanting along with that? And when Kofi at one point during Raw, he was like, "It's your boys, the New Day," and the crowd was like not doing it, but like they've always done that. If I was there, I think it's kind of muscle memory. I'd be like, "New Day," So I just feel like, at a certain point, people are going to go with the New Day because they're awesome. Why wouldn't they? If I was watching the New Day versus the Viking Raiders, I'd be cheering for the New Day. Those guys are awesome. Also, the Viking Raiders cut a promo this week, and they were like talking about the New Day, and they were like, "We gonna get you, boys." And I was like, boys, where? Whoa. I could just picture Kofi in the back, like, who you calling boys? That was I understand what he was trying to say, but like maybe take it easy on the boys talk, especially in this current climate of WWE where it looks like a super racist company. Don't be calling the New Day boys, okay? Viking Raiders, you know what I mean? Like, it's a pretty, Viking Raiders, War Raiders, whatever the hell they are. You call the New Day boys on TV, you go, it didn't sit right with me. I don't think they intended anything with it. I don't even think saying those words were intentional. Nevertheless, don't say that. It's not good. You know what was good, though, John? You know what I did like? Gunther choking
Gunther
out
thing?
Pat McAfee.
I thought so. Yeah, that was really well done. I enjoyed that. The only problem
great.
I had with that was Michael afterwards. The lack of selling by Michael afterwards.
Yeah. How come Pat's like dead, but Michael Cole is like okay and he can keep working?
Thinks he has a broken nose, but yeah, he's going to keep working because he has to keep working. And does a terrible job selling his broken nose.
And why do we have to think Michael Cole is like tough and is going to soldier on? Why is that a thing where Michael Cole has to look strong?
Well, he's the big face. Did you hear the big chant afterwards when Michael Cole came back? They're so happy about that. He's the number one
what the hell is that?
And I don't know what you thought about this, but I was kind of mad when Mike Cole's like, "Oh, we're announcers. We're really fans. We should be able to say what we want." When are the announcers fans? What? You're not supposed to be fans. That's the dumbest thing.
And it was crazy, too, because Michael Cole kept going on and on about, we're commentators. We should be allowed to have the freedom to say what we want, and we shouldn't be attacked for it. And I'm like, aren't you the dude who's a stooge for the guy who spits the water, who was saying how, all these critics should shut up and just enjoy the show, and they don't know what they're talking about, and they should stop what they're doing, and they're wrong. And like, your boss was just telling all the commentators to shut up and know their role and enjoy the WWE and the shitty product that they're feeding us. And then you're on Raw after Mania going, we should have the right to talk and say our opinions. And I'm like, what? I hope Gunther comes out and chokes you for real. I wanted Gunther to kill Pat McAfee on TV. I wanted it all to go down. I was like very, very excited to see Gunther attacking Pat McAfee, putting him in the chokehold. He could have cinched it in a little bit more. And it's not even leading to a Gunther-Pat McAfee match, which is great, because I don't want to see Pat McAfee wrestle. This was just an attack on Pat McAfee to write Gunther off because he's taken time off and he's now suspended indefinitely. But we know that he's just taken time off, and this was a way to get him there. It was just great to see him completely beat down and humiliate Pat McAfee like that. And, man, it was just nice. It was satisfying to see Pat McAfee attacked because he and Michael Cole have been super annoying with all the yeeting and the celebrating for Jey Uso that Gunther, rightfully, should be mad because he lost a championship to Jey Uso, and here is the commentary team openly cheering for his opponent the whole time. So, yeah, Gunther had a legit beef, and he deserved to attack those guys. So, good for him. It was nice to see Pat McAfee get attacked. I wish it was real.
But he's going to sell this too, right? So that means McAfee's not going to be on Raw for a little bit now.
Great. You think? Michael Cole didn't sell anything.
No, we're not going to lose Michael Cole, though, because Michael Cole came right back afterwards. Because how dare Michael Cole not commentate? He has to do this. The tough guy that he is. Good for him, like Adam Pearce said. But whatever happens, they have enough commentating people that they can just replace. It's not a big deal if McAfee's there or not. I don't really care so much. I actually didn't mind having Wade Barrett on commentary for WrestleMania. I know you and your brother hated him, but I didn't think he was that bad.
Yeah, I don't think Wade is that great either. Jason Pete says in the chat, Jason Pete, member of the team over at join.ringsidereport.net. Angelo Contagona says, well, he says Cody Rhodes is being advertised for Money in the Bank. Interesting. Shout out Angelo. Shout out to Kyle Salisbury as well in the chat. I see you, Kyle. Sorry, what did you say, John?
I like Roman to win Money in the Bank.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Jason Pete says, I truly do not understand with Pat McAfee. Why is he's there or popular? He's the polar opposite of entertaining or funny. Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't get the Pat McAfee thing. I think if you are a football fan, you like Pat McAfee more, or you have an appreciation for him, that is just completely lost on me. I find him obnoxious, not funny, not clever. It sounds like he's playing the part of a wrestling announcer, like he's not really there. It's not good. I don't like him. He's annoying. But he's obviously popular. Like he's doing very well for himself. He's got a lot of money, and ESPN gave him a bunch of money, and his thing is big, and it's like his podcast or whatever it is a big show, and people seem to like him. But I don't get it. Like I'm not entertained at all by him. In fact, I find he takes away from the show. I feel like he makes a lot of it about himself. And it's annoying because I don't care about him. He's a commentary guy. And he's not even that good at it. And, when you're bad at it and you're saying all these ridiculous things and you're carrying on like a total buffoon, it takes away from the show, and it's kind of annoying. I find it's disrespectful to the wrestling business, to the wrestlers, to have a guy on commentary going into business for himself as much as McAfee does. I know the WWE, they like him because they think he brings in an audience for them because he's a very popular sports show host. But I don't like him. I don't enjoy what he does.
I just feel WWE likes to have those links to ESPN.
Yeah.
And that kind of helps it a lot with McAfee. It attracts a new audience. Like, if I'm not mistaken, it's Fred Garcia who talks about how he listens to Pat McAfee on his show. And, like,
does he?
Maybe he's not a fan of him in WWE, but he's a fan of his show. So he wants to hear what he has to say, kind of thing. So a lot of people just get attracted to that. And he has had some matches, so people are interested to see what he does. He does have a lot of enthusiasm. I'm not a fan whatsoever. I am not a fan of his opinions at all, but he has his little fan base. Good for him. Honestly, like in terms of like football commentators, I think Mongo was better than him. R.I.P. by the way, Mongo as well.
Rest in peace, Mongo. I think Mongo is a better wrestler than Pat McAfee too.
I mean, that's one thing about Mongo. I'm going to say, like, I can't say I was ever a fan of his matches whatsoever. R.I.P., but not so big on his matches.
Yeah, but he was still better than Pat McAfee.
I mean, that's tough.
He was.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I saw some really bad Mongo matches.
Pat
He's
McAfee,
had more to work with.
Come on.
Well, Pat was more protected, though. I'll say that.
Yeah. Yeah. People trying to expose Mongo. Back in the WCW days, those times were cutthroat, brother. So Gunther gone for a little bit. Who's the first challenge to Jey Uso?
I mean, I honestly thought it was going to be Braun, but I mean, now because they're pushing him that far, I guess it's not going to be Braun right away. It's tough. You know what? And this is not a big challenge whatsoever, but I would think Kaiser right away, no?
Kaiser to get revenge for Gunther?
I don't expect Jay to make Backlash because you have obviously Randy going to be in the big title match.
Yeah.
I don't think Jay needs to make Backlash. Just Kaiser on a Raw, I think that's fine.
Okay, but what's the next big Jay feud? Like, is it Seth?
Yeah, I think we'd eventually get to Seth whenever he finally actually gets to a PLE.
Mm-hmm.
But I would hope that would take a little bit of time. Like he might more likely lose that, right?
You would think.
So I think there's a very good chance. If anything, honestly, maybe give Finn a shot.
Finn, yes.
Just to give Jay a win.
Yep.
Until he eventually loses to Seth.
Yep. I think Finn is going to be the in-between guy.
He's always the in-between guy if you think about it.
How about Rusev?
Sure, but I wouldn't think Rusev would win.
No, but that's fine. Like, bring him in strong and have him go up against Jay where you go, oh, what the hell? This is going to be tough for Jay. And then Jay beats him. And then it's like, wow, that's a big win for Jay. And then Rusev can kind of go back to the middle of the card where he's going to remain. Because, I mean, come on.
It's rough for Rusev. It's really rough. I would hope they do better with Rusev, at least to start.
Goes up against the champion right away.
I mean, I get it. I get what you're saying, but I give it a little bit more time. Give him a couple of wins, albeit in the low card, but still, like, give him something.
See, but here's the thing, John. What's more important? Making Rusev like look strong on his return or giving Jey Uso a legit title run and legitimize him as a world champion? Because if he goes on and faces Finn at like a pay-per-view at some point, right? A PLE, whatever.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything when he beats Finn. So if you have a match with Finn or two matches with Finn and you beat Finn a couple times and then maybe you beat Dominic Mysterio or so, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then you lose to Seth. Well, what was Jey Uso's title run, really? Not great. So I think if you want to have a short run type of thing where he loses at SummerSlam to Seth, maybe, give him a guy like Rusev. Give him somebody that's formidable. So when he beats him, he defends the title. It's actually a good title defense. And you could look back on the title run going, yeah, it's pretty good. Like, who did Damien Priest defend the title against when he was champion? Because his title run sucked, and I don't remember any of his matches.
I want to say
Drew,
was Seth
maybe?
Well, Drew tried the cash-in, right?
Right.
And failed.
Maybe one with Seth? I don't even remember.
I think there was the one with Seth, and that's when Drew did the cash-in, didn't he?
Okay, yeah.
So that there was a little bit of a threat there. But that was pretty much it. Yeah, it wasn't exactly a memorable reign for Priest whatsoever. I mean, I think we all knew, like, the end game with that was Gunther, so it was just until we got to that point at SummerSlam, which eventually happened.
Yeah.
Who's uncomfortable about this?
Something happened. Somebody dropped the super chat.
Harold
Schneider says, thank you, Harold. I'm uncomfortable with guys like Rusev and Black who had badmouthed WWE after gone to AEW and then come back to WWE. Yeah, I mean, Alistair Black and Rusev did say some negative things about the WWE when they went to AEW, and they're now back, but how about CM Punk? I mean, he was pretty
even
rough
Cody
on them too. Cody, yeah, smashed the throne with a sledgehammer in AEW. It happens, you know. It happens.
Sometimes
I remember
you
seeing
do that.
a shoot interview with the Road Dogg where he was burying him and Billy Gunn were burying Triple H in the WWE, and now Road Dogg works for the WWE and has for several years. So, you know, things change. Things change all the time.
They do it for attention a lot of the time. Like, they don't actually sometimes even mean a lot of what they're saying. They're just trying to get people to notice what they're doing now because they're not protected by WWE and pumped by that WWE machine, so they got to create their own noise. And by doing that, you got to do some controversy. So maybe they don't even believe it, but they'll just say it because people will click on it.
Or they feel it at the time and things change and they come back and it's a little different. Grass is always greener on the other side, right? And, you know, also with Rusev and Punk and Alistair Black, when they left or were fired or whatever happened to them, whatever happened there, it was Vince in charge. And now it's Triple H. So they can always say, well, it was Vince that was the problem, and now Triple H, it's a new day and it's all fine. Right?
Sure. Yeah, well, I'm sure it's different, right? So good luck with that.
Yeah, it's real different. It's definitely different.
Well, the thing with Black too, his wife is there, so
yeah,
he always had a link back to WWE.
Mm-hmm. And his wife wins the U.S. Championship on the same night he returns on SmackDown. What a nice night for them. Good for them.
Good for both of them, yes.
Yeah. All right, Johnny. That's what's happening in WWE world. It was an eventful week in the WWE. A couple title changes, post-Mania, some cool matches, some promos, new groups. Seth, Heyman, and Braun Breaker now all together. Is this a good move for Braun Breaker to be with these guys? He was kind of like on fire on his own, and now he's just Seth's number one goon.
I think being around Paul Heyman is definitely good for him.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that whatsoever. And, you know, maybe Seth hasn't had the best in terms of partners in the past that have gone on and done better things, except maybe Roman. But more recently, not so much. With Buddy Murphy, kind of didn't work out too well for him. But, again, with Heyman around, I think he'll be all right. If anything, I see it more bright for Braun than I do Seth. Seth might win the World Heavyweight Championship. That's nice, but I could see Braun as the WWE champion one day.
I think you're right. Braun is fantastic, and people are really gravitating towards him. People I talk to really excited about Braun Breaker as a potential big star for the WWE. Randy Orton, John Cena. One last thing on these guys. They're going to wrestle again. They've wrestled a million times, and I have hated every single one of their matches. This is going to be the worst Randy Cena match ever, and, you know, it's never been good. Like, they did it to death, and I don't think it was ever good. I can't remember one where I was like, that was good. No, wait, sorry. That's a lie. The one we saw, the Breaking Point one, was good. Because Randy...
Really?
Yeah, Randy beat the shit out of Cena with a kendo stick.
He did. I wouldn't say that was great match.
The violence was good. I enjoyed Cena all welted up from that kendo stick. It was pretty violent. It wasn't a great match, but I was like, I like Cena getting beat up. That was none of that was fake. That was all real shit. Cena took a vicious beating.
That's like saying Edge and Cena was a good TLC match. It had good moments.
It was.
If you look back on that, Cena did this stupid thing where he was scared to go through the table and he put his hands and feet down first. It ruined the whole spot right there. And I thought the finish too was kind of lackluster a bit. Which is a big thing when the finish kind of doesn't deliver.
Fine then, John. I take it back. Randy and Cena never had a good match, and this is going to be their worst one yet, which is crazy. It's going to be so bad, but there's the nostalgia and all of that. And because of that, I'm not even mad that they're doing it. Like, I'm not mad that they've booked Randy Cena again because it takes me back to, like, 15 years ago when they did it constantly. And it's like, oh, yeah, this is kind of fun again. These two old guys wrestling. Maybe they'll figure it out finally. They won't.
It's a brand new twist because now Randy's the baby face and Cena's the heel.
Yeah. Never done that before.
It was always the other way around, so.
This will probably be the last one, too.
Well, that's it, too. Like, you can hype that up as it's the end of it all. Like, finally, it's done. End of an era match. You know, Taker and Triple H. You can hype that.
Yeah, and it's for the title in St. Louis, you know? It's big.
Doesn't need to be a good match, just the hype. That's all you need. That's all WWE's about now. It's all about the hype, really.
Hype, entrances. That's all it is. I thought Stephanie Vaquer and Io Sky had a fun little match on Raw that ended with Roxanne Perez attacking and then Julia showing up and then Rhea Ripley coming out, and there was all sorts of melee stuff there, but I enjoyed the bit of Stephanie Vaquer and Io Sky that we saw on Raw. I thought that was okay.
It's just frustrating. Like, I thought it was a very good match they had, a good back and forth counter, but it comes out of absolute nowhere, and we get a non-finish as well. I just leave disappointed in the end, and it's like, I'd rather you didn't do this. It's like a tease. It wouldn't have hurt Vaquer to lose that match whatsoever. Mm-hmm. She's in NXT. Io's no titles were on the line. Even Io could have lost that match if you want to push Vaquer if she's coming up. She's probably not coming up right away. But someone can take a loss. Like, it's stupid when they do these non-finishes all the time. Doesn't help anybody, really.
Well, Vaquer is the NXT Women's Champion who had a title defense coming up, so I don't think they wanted her losing there.
Don't book the match. That's the main thing. Don't book the match.
Yeah.
Book a tag or something.
They don't want the NXT Women's Champion losing on Raw, but they do not care if they book the TNA World Champion to lose in 3 minutes at WrestleMania. That's totally cool, which I think is hilarious. People have all sorts of...
TNA's happy with it.
TNA's happy with it. Joe Hendry's happy with it. I saw some TNA fans, yes, they exist, who are unhappy with it because he's the world champion, and, like, for your world champion to lose in a squash at WrestleMania is kind of sad, but, like, hey, he's only the TNA world champion, and he lost to Randy Orton. My response to that is, if Randy Orton was in TNA, he would be world champion until he didn't want to be anymore. You don't think TNA would put the belt on Randy Orton? He's working Cena for the belt. Like, what are you talking about? Of course Joe Hendry lost to Randy Orton. Everybody in TNA would be booked to lose to Randy Orton by the TNA booking team. And if they didn't book that, they should not be booking anything. Right?
It's funny. I read somewhere they said that Randy chose his opponent. I'm like, I doubt if that's true or not. And if it is
Who were
true,
his other options?
well, I guess it's possibly it's Rusev. It was Sami Zayn, guys like that, right? I just feel like
The
if
Miz,
Randy actually
Karrion Kross.
all is possible. All the guys that didn't have matches, right? But the way I look at it, it's like if Randy actually chose, he chose the easiest match. He knew he was going to get a 3 minutes, boom, easy, done with. And Hendry would get a good react. He'd get the most out of it by just coming out. So he realized that was the best course of action for him. That was a good business move by Randy if he actually did choose that.
Who knows? Who knows? What's up with AEW? What's going on with them? What's their problem?
Well, they changed it up a little bit because I had thought they're going to do Moxley and Joe at Double or Nothing. But apparently it's Moxley and Joe in a couple of weeks, like on Dynamite instead, if I'm not mistaken.
Hell yeah. Why waste time?
Well, I'm guessing because Double or Nothing, they're probably going to do the brawl around the arena, right? The Stampede match or whatever.
Yeah, they got teams a brewing.
So that's probably what the main event will be for Double or Nothing. So they have the title match on Dynamite earlier than, like, I think it's maybe 2 weeks before the pay-per-view.
I think we see Anarchy in the arena, brother.
That sounds like the right match. Yeah, the Stampede match I think is saved for All In. So
well, that's a stadium, I think.
Right, because that's going to be in a stadium. For that.
Yeah,
that's
Double or Nothing is in an arena. So maybe they do Anarchy in the arena, or maybe they do a Blood and Guts, possibly.
No, Blood and Guts usually its own show. So
okay, but what would that match be? Wheeler, Mox, Claudio, and Pac against Joe, Hobbs, Swerve, and Shibata?
Well, here's another thing, though, too. Pac is, like, hurt, right?
Okay.
So I'm thinking he's not in it, but maybe throw the Bucks in there instead. And, Swerve's good. That makes sense. Swerve with the Bucks and all that.
Well, he was with them there at the end.
Right. So I think you're getting the idea of what it might be. But maybe add someone else onto the ops. I'm trying to think who else you would add. I was going to say Hangman, but I think Hangman will have a match, probably. Because I think he'll be in the finals against Ospreay on that pay-per-view.
Yeah, I think so, too. Maybe Mark Briscoe. They like to throw him in randomly to any match. And he beat Ricochet this week on Dynamite. That might have been for a reason,
And his group broke up this week or last week, right? I guess they broke up on Collision, so yeah, gives him something to do.
Why did he beat Ricochet on Dynamite this week? That was odd, unless they're building him up for something.
Mark's good to have. Like, I always thought they should use him more. So I'm glad that they're giving him that kind of win. And you should always be like, maybe Mark's in a tough match. He's probably not going to win, but he gets wins like that. I think he's good to have like that, Briscoe.
Kenny Omega was with those guys too, right? No, wait. Kenny was with, like, the Elite were there. It was a whole big segment at the beginning of the show with Master P making everybody say, right? Which was fun because they were in New Orleans and Master P was there, and that's fun because wrestling and all that.
He has history.
Yeah, good history. And then Joe and Hobbs and Shibata come out and do a little promo with Master P, and then Moxley and his group, they come out, and they start fighting, and then they choke out John Moxley. But then the Young Bucks and Okada come out, and they start attacking Joe. And then, there was so many people showing up. And then Kenny Omega came out, and he's got a chair. And then the Elite, The Bucks and Okada, they ran away. And then Swerve was there too. Like, so many people were there. So I'm trying to figure out what this match is, and it's still not clear because it seemed like the baby faces had way too many guys compared to the heels. But I guess if you add the Young Bucks, maybe you do Bucks, Mox, Claudio, and Okada.
That's potential, yeah.
And Wheeler, 5,
Sure.
right? Against Kenny, Swerve, Hobbs, Joe, and Shibata. 5-on-5. Anarchy in the arena. There we go.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
There were so many guys it was hard to figure out what the hell was going on. But I think that's the match. Kenny with Swerve, with Joe. It's a cool team. And then Shibata and Hobbs are there too. Against the Bucks and Okada and Moxley and Claudio. Leave Wheeler at home.
Well, you can have Wheeler interfere because like it's a 5-on-5 Anarchy in the arena. Just he's not a legal guy in the match.
Yeah. I thought the Bucks had a match of the night on Dynamite against Speedball and Kevin Knight. I thought that match was really fun. Everybody looked great.
I agree. The only problem I have with the match is that they should have been hyped. They should have like invested in something in this match. Be like, this match is coming up. This is going to be a big deal. Because it was a big deal when you saw it. It was like, wow, like this was too good for television almost. And they just didn't promote it enough. Like, yes, they've said the match is going to happen this week or something, but there needed to be something more to it. There should have been a segment hyping this up, anything, but it just happened. It's like, I feel people should have been more hyped for this match because it really delivered more than I think I was expecting.
I expected it to be pretty good. I mean, Mike Bailey is incredible. I think, it didn't get a lot of hype because people aren't that familiar with Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight was really impressive, too. I didn't know much about him, and just watching him in this match, he looked great. I thought, it was just a nice moment for the newer guys in AEW to shine, and the Bucks to come back and look like a $1,000,000. They look fantastic. They're such a great team. And I saw Matt Jackson had a big post saying, thank you to all the fans that stuck with us and everything because people have been kind of negative on them. And it was nice to see because I've always been a huge fan of the Bucks, and it did bother me when people were piling on them because they're one of the greatest tag teams of all time, and they created this whole AEW thing, and people should appreciate them a little bit more than they did. It felt like the whole wrestling world was kind of turning on the Young Bucks, and it seems like they're turning back the other way. And I think that's the right way to go because, I like the Young Bucks. I like Charlotte Flair, too. I think the wrestling world is turning the wrong way on her. Hopefully this Nia Jax thing is gonna give her enough sympathy to turn back and have everybody just turning against Nia Jax.
I just want to make the comment that I thought that's a pretty funny comment that Kyle just made there about your brother looking like Wheeler, Yuta, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
At times he can be. I find more recently he wasn't looking like Wheeler, but sometimes he can.
Uh-huh.
But,
FTR is with Stokely Hathaway now, John.
I think this was needed. Like, FTR needed like a new look, a new direction, and I think Stokely's going to help a lot. Stokely's been gone for so long. I thought Stokely may not be in AEW anymore, so
yeah.
This is a good break for him. Good, like, re-energize him in a sense, new direction. And I'm liking where it started. They took out the Rock and Roll Express. Really helped solidify them more as heels. It's a good start for them.
Nothing like beating up a couple old men on TV to really make you heelish. Pile driving old Ricky Morton from the Rock and Roll Express who were just there, just getting beat up. It doesn't feel as impressive because didn't Moxley and his crew beat up the Rock and Roll Express a few weeks ago, too?
Tied them up, didn't beat them up, just tied them up and said, like, oh, come get them kind of thing.
Right. Anyways, so FTR beat them up this week, and yeah. I think it's a good move, though. I think you're right. It's very old school, typical FTR move, old school move. When you want to turn heel, what do? Align yourself with a heel manager. When a babyface wanted to turn heel back in the 80s, what did? They joined Bobby Heenan's family. You know? It's a smart move. It's what you do.
I like the line about how you guys are a good tag team, but just to be honest, the Midnight Express were always better than Rock and Roll Express. That was great heat. Enjoyed that line.
Yep. And MJF still trying to get the thumbs up from all the Hurt Syndicate. They have he has a car for them. Shelton is happy after the ladies were gifted to them from last week, so he's given the thumbs up now finally for MJF to join the group. MVP's always got the thumbs up ready for MJF to join the group. Bobby Lashley got in the car with Shelton. MJF says, all you got to do is give me the thumbs up, Bobby, and you can have this car. And Bobby's like, thumbs down, and then he drove off in the car anyways. And MJF was not happy about it.
But he had to pretend to be happy because MVP was there.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. This is going on a little too long. This, like, courting the favor of these guys, buying them gifts every week now. You bring in different ladies, cars. Like, what is next? What is next? A pile of money? Some cocaine?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Gold statues?
Yeah.
Be a statue of Bobby Lashley.
What are you going to do?
I also feel that maybe like a match too. Like he's gonna have to you want to prove you can be in this her syndicate, you're gonna have to beat me for it. And maybe we'll get Bobby Lashley versus MJF.
You have to beat me to get in the group?
Yeah, you want to show you can hurt people? Try to hurt me.
Okay. It's running a long time though, isn't it? Isn't it kind of dragging at this point? Like this week, I was like, "Oh, we're still doing this? We're still doing gifts?" Like after last week with the Ho Train, you're like, all right. We're kind of towards the end of this. But no, this week he has a car that he's giving him. It's like, all right, guys. At which point are we going to say he's in the group?
He's got to get all the thumbs up. It hasn't happened yet. So I don't disagree with you that it is running a bit long, but we aren't at the end point that I'm pretty sure they have an idea how they're going to end this. So we're just not there yet, sadly.
Okay. I hope you're right. Jamie Hayter beat Chris Statlander in the main event to advance to the finals of the Owen Hart Tournament. She will face Mercedes Moné in the finals at Double or Nothing on May 25th. It's kind of weird they do the semifinals and then you wait a month to do the final.
I don't disagree with you, but now you can hype it up. They can have promos back and forth with each other. They can even have tag matches against each other.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with that. And again, it puts over how important the Owen is because you're going to get a title shot at All In. It just maybe they started a little bit early, but it actually lets it breathe a little bit. I got no problem with that. I think we still have one more semifinal match left, right? Because we haven't done Kyle versus Hangman yet.
Yeah, I think that's coming up on Dynamite this week.
There you go.
Kyle Fletcher versus Hangman Page. Winner faces Will Ospreay at Double or Nothing in the finals of the Owen Hart Cup Tournament. The winner of the Cup Tournament gets a shot at the World Champion at Double or Nothing. And now that we have Hayter and Moné in the finals, I think, it's a slam dunk for Mercedes Moné, and we are going to get Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné at All In, which is going to be great in July.
Sure, but I expect a fantastic match. Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes. Yes, Mercedes is going to win, but it's going to be a very good match. Hayter's very good, and we haven't seen her highlighted enough, I think, since she came back. But I think the Mercedes match, you're going to remember how good she is.
I agree. I think she's really good. I got nothing but love for Jamie Hayter. Nothing but love. However,
okay, there, Shaft.
Nothing but love.
You're talking this.
However, John, wouldn't you be pissed if she won? Because I'd be pissed. Because we're this close to Mercedes versus Toni Storm, and I think that's the match that needs to happen at All In. I'd be pissed if Mercedes did not win, and Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm at All In, that's not necessary.
I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be mad about it, but I'd be surprised.
I want to see Mercedes versus Toni. I want to see that very much.
I want to see it too, and I'd be very surprised if we don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like it's building towards that. And no disrespect to Jamie Hayter, but there's nothing built in there with her and Tony. I'm sure maybe actually no, like that's wrong because they do have a history actually with it, with the title. Actually, I think Tony's taken the title from her, and vice versa.
Yeah,
so
they were in a group together too, weren't they? Oh no, they were against each other. Against each other, yeah.
They have a history actually, but and it's crazy, but it feels like such a far away history.
Yeah,
that's not that big of a deal. Where Mercedes, this is more the now, so we need that match, and we're gonna get it. I'd be very surprised if we don't get it.
Yeah. And as far as Will Ospreay, I think he's gonna face Hangman at Double or Nothing in the finals, and I don't really care who wins because either one going on to All In and beating Jon Moxley for the world title would be fine by me, Hangman or Ospreay. I don't want to see Kyle Fletcher wrestle Will Ospreay at Double or Nothing. Like, that's enough. I want to see Hangman wrestle Will Ospreay.
They put themselves in a good spot here where you could see either guy winning. That's the best when you have it like that, where it makes sense either way you do it. I feel it'd be more Ospreay, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Hangman, to be honest.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's very 50-50, that match.
And that's so good. You don't know who's going to win. You know the match is going to be incredible. You know the winner of the match is not only the number one contender and is going to face a world champion at their biggest show of the year, but it's probably going to be the next world champion too for AEW.
Better be.
So, like, it's a huge match. It's almost a world title match because we kind of figure that whoever's going to win is going to be the next world champion. So this is kind of for the belt. Like, yeah, the Moxley match has to happen and all that, but it seems like a foregone conclusion that Moxley's reign of terror will finally end at All In to either Ospreay or Hangman. And I'm hoping, it's Hangman because I want to see him back on top. I think Ospreay has time and, maybe it's a little too early in his run to get the world title. But I'd be happy with Ospreay as world champion too because he's an incredible talent. It's a huge match. This is exactly what we're wanting to see in pro wrestling. It's exactly what the WWE doesn't quite give us because they do like the big story and the big match for like all the marbles type of thing, but very rarely does it coincide with we don't know who's going to win. When they do the big match and the big story, we're kind of like, yeah, this guy's probably going to win, and then he does. This one is like, man, anybody can win. And we also know going into it that the match is going to be like a 5-star classic, kick-ass, physical, athletic match where the WWE oftentimes in their big matches, you can't quite expect that. So it's a very unique thing to AEW right now as far as big American TV wrestling. And that Ospreay Hangman match is a perfect example of why I really like AEW. It's because they give you these matches where you're like, wow, this is exactly what a big pro wrestling match is supposed to be. Two amazing wrestlers that you'd be happy to see either guy win. You're kind of rooting for one guy maybe a little bit more than the other, but whatever. You don't know who's going to win. You know the match is going to be great because they're both great workers in the ring. And the match has huge consequences for the future of the company. It's as good as it gets.
And a huge problem, too, like when WWE is building towards their big matches, they take too long to finally capitalize that we don't really care by the time we get there. Like, look at the tag match. Braun and Seth against Punk and Roman. When we finally get that match, how long is it going to be? We're going to have to wait till SummerSlam to finally get that? Money in the Bank? Like, we should get that soon, not, a couple months from now. They take too long for things to happen. Everything goes the past year, everything went on a snail's pace.
Yeah.
They got to capitalize on things more. They have such a large roster. They shouldn't take forever to do stuff.
Yeah, they need to move things along a little bit quicker. They've been very slow with all their booking. But, look who's in charge. A slow, methodical pace Triple H. It's all he ever did when he wrestled. It's what his promos were. It's what his stories were. It's what his matches were. Slow, methodical pace. Talk a lot, say nothing. It's the game's playbook, and that's what he's doing with his company right now.
With the talent they have, there's no reason why we have to have these multiple PLEs where we have the same matches over and over again. The fact that Backlash is pretty much just going to be WrestleMania Revenge, it's kind of disappointing. It should be different matches.
Hey, you're getting a different match, John. John Cena versus Randy Orton. That's different, isn't it?
Well, maybe for your son, because your son wasn't live for a lot of that. So
Yeah, that's true. He wasn't born for those matches. Luckily for him.
Yeah, lucky for him, yeah.
God, those awful times in wrestling. Just awful. All right, Johnny. Well, AEW was kind of fun this week, and they've got a big pay-per-view coming up on May 25th. So that'll be good. And Backlash is before that. Backlash is May 10th. It's very close. They got 2 more weeks of TV before Backlash.
They got to they got enough matches, I think, or ideas of matches that they'll be fine. 6 matches, I think they'll be fine.
Book it.
Just I feel a lot of it's going to be rematches. Well, right away it's Cena and Randy, right?
Yeah,
that's for sure.
That's 1. 5 matches. I think 5 matches.
5 matches. Ooh,
yeah,
it's going to be kind of rough then.
But that's what they've been doing. 5 matches for their standard shows.
Well, then I really got to cut back on stuff here. So I think we have a U.S. title match. It's either happening on the SmackDown 4-way, right?
Throw it on there. Yeah, why not?
It's either on the SmackDown or Backlash, but I'll just throw that on there. Boom. And again, this could be on SmackDown or Backlash, but I would think you would have the rematch of Zelina Vega versus Chelsea Green. We just had her win the championship.
I think that's going to be on SmackDown. I think you get Tiffy and Nia instead.
Okay. But I was just going to mention that too.
I don't think Chelsea Green makes a pay-per-view. I think you do Tiffy and Nia, and you also do Becky and Lyra for the Intercontinental Championship.
So you're at 4 now.
4 matches. Oh. Yeah, you got 2 men's matches, 2 women's matches. Throw another men's match in there. Maybe you do Priest and Drew in another match because they're still feuding.
Well, I was putting them in the U.S. title match, actually.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right.
I honestly was going to have Rusev make his debut against Otis.
Okay. No Punk, no Roman, no Seth.
I want that. You think they're going to do that? I don't think they're going to do that.
They should.
They won't.
Yeah, they need a little something extra. I think you got to do Punk and Roman versus Seth and Braun Breaker. They were there on Raw. They were all there. They did a whole angle. I think you do it at Backlash. Let's not wait. Come on. Stop fucking around, Triple H.
I hope you're right. I just feel like, if anything, you'd get it the next... Because that's what they did last year, too. It's 1 PLE, you get the big match. Then the next one, you get it from Raw. And then they just keep switching over all the time. It was hard to get Cody matches sometimes. Cody matches were hidden. And AJ was kind of hidden sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, they might not do the Roman match. They might just do AJ Styles and Karrion Kross.
It's a big possibility, if that even makes it to.
Yeah. Yep. Who's the Intercontinental Champion?
Now it's Dom.
Dom. Maybe they do a Dom match.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I just couldn't figure out who they'd have him against right now. Because I feel him and Finn, that's going to be a match soon, but not right now.
No, too soon. Too soon. All right, Johnny. You good? When's your next match?
Well, I mean, before talking about a match, you kind of talked about Dark Side of the Ring. You did watch it, Billy Graham.
Superstar Billy Graham. He was the champion for Vince McMahon Sr., and he held it for a year after beating Bruno. He held it for a year, dropped it to Bob Backlund, and was never the same. That's basically the story.
Well, the big thing is, you think about it, Billy Graham was the innovator. Without him, there's no Hogan, or the way Hogan was, in a sense.
Yeah.
Jesse Ventura, Scott Stein, they show
Dusty
it
Rhodes,
too. Dusty
in a lot of
Rhodes,
ways.
Macho Man.
Yep.
Like, he was the first when you think about it. Or he
Yep.
perfected a lot of what they did in the end.
The promo style, the muscles, everything. He was an original in many, many ways. I think Jim Cornette or Meltzer, one of those guys, was saying, like, a lot of the guys are imitating superstar Billy Graham today, and they don't even know it, you know, because that style just kind of became popular, and it became the popular style that everybody copied, and everybody was kind of doing a superstar Billy Graham impression at a certain point in the 80s because he got so hot in the 70s, and it was clearly something there, but the promoter didn't see it, and Billy couldn't keep it together to keep that gimmick going. The wrestling business is obviously going to latch onto it, and other guys are going to say, I'm going to do my own version of that, and it's going to work because Superstar worked. I mean, just the name Superstar Billy Graham. Vince McMahon started calling all his wrestlers superstars. All of them became superstars because all of them, at a certain point, were slight version imitations and taking different pieces from Superstar Billy Graham. He originated a lot of stuff. He was an innovator, no doubt, and one of the godfathers of modern pro wrestling.
I think Meltzer said it, where if Vince had him, Billy Graham, the way he was, it would have been him instead of Hogan.
That's it. He said if he had Billy Graham from 1975 and 1985, he could have been Hulk Hogan instead. Yeah.
And it's too bad he just wasn't able to keep that, because that world title reign kind of broke him. It's too bad.
He couldn't believe that the promotion would take it off of him, but it was their plan the whole time to make Backlund their champion. And it never worked. WWF tried to make Backlund their guy, their top babyface or top heel many times, and it never ever worked.
Well, it's a different mind frame, because that's Vince McMahon Sr.
Yeah.
And he always saw it as his territory was, you need a top babyface champion. And I get it. Bruno was the champion for so long, and look what he did. And it was kind of like, wow, well, look what Bruno did. That's pretty good. But let's go back to what always works, and this is what always works. So,
but it was very typical McMahon booking, right? Where you have this babyface champion, he loses to this guy who's supposed to be a heel, but Billy Graham, because he was so charismatic, turns babyface when he's supposed to be a heel. But McMahon, Vince Sr., not Vince Jr., but Vince Sr., he goes, well, screw what the fans think. My plan is to make Bob Backlund my champion. I don't care if Superstar's over. He's dropping the belt. And that's what Vince Jr. did many, many times. It's kind of like a John Cena thing. Like, I don't care how over Kurt Angle is. Cena's going over, brother. You know?
It's just sad how Billy Graham became like the karate master afterwards.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
The shell of a former self when that happened.
Yeah.
And that was just sad. You could just, his whole life was falling apart around him. Like, he almost died back then when that happened. So that was very sad. And he just continued to have health problems until, sadly, the day he died, which was not too long ago, a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, wrestling business was not very kind to Superstar. It was in a way, but in another way, it kind of chewed him up and spit him out.
Well, I felt this really focused a lot on his family.
Yeah, he wasn't great to his family.
No, and again, I'm sure the way you look at this too, like, he wasn't the greatest dad whatsoever.
He was a shitty dad, and his kids said the same thing. His kids were on that, and they were like, yeah, he didn't care about us. He was not great. Left their mom for, like, a teen girl when they were young and never really paid attention to them. That's shitty. Wasn't a great guy, Superstar Billy Graham. In my book, if you're not taking care of your kids, you're not a great guy. There's a real issue there. If you have children, you make people that need you, and then you're not there for them. I don't have any respect for a person that does that. Zero.
I think the really heart-wrenching part is when his son's talking about him and talking about how much he hated him.
Yeah.
And, like, didn't really want to ever see him ever again. His daughter was more forgiving, though. Like, didn't like him, but was willing to forgive.
Yeah. Well, that's, you know, I think the measure of a man is what his children say about him when he's gone or when he's alive. And they don't have great things to say about their father, so I don't know if you can say much about superstar Billy Graham.
I think he made the most of what he learned, because, I mean, he pretty much took his gimmick from his preacher teachings, right? Like, a lot of it was that. They said
he took some preacher stuff, he took some catchphrases, he did a bunch of steroids, and he was hot for a year.
He ran with it like crazy, until it caught up to him.
Yeah. In a way, he was like the first Ultimate Warrior.
I would say a bit better than that, because they said, too, like, he could work.
Yeah, but he lost it pretty quick. Could he really, though? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, his body gave up in the end. That's the sad part. And the thing is, too, like we said, gave up, too. He fought. Like, he was always in bad health for so long. I felt like almost like a decade or more he was always in bad health. You'd always hear he's in the hospital, he's out of the hospital. They talked about it, too, his family, saying, like, oh, he'll be fine. He always there. He comes back out. Until finally it couldn't happen.
The Reaper comes for us all. Sorry.
I mean, but kind of sad in the end. Just very sad and like.
Well, yeah, man. Dark Side of the Ring isn't supposed to be an uplifting show.
Well, I felt the Tony Atlas one wasn't.
I thought Buff Bagwell's was kind of uplifting. That was hilarious. I loved it.
The ups and downs with that one.
Mostly ups for me. I loved it. So many ups. Thank you, Angelo. He says, thank you for another great show, guys. Have a great weekend. Angelo, you're the super chat leader of the night. Thank you to Angelo. Thank you to Kyle Salisbury. Thank you to Harold Schneider dropping a super chat as well. Thank you to CSL Lorne, Jason, Pete, and all the members over at join.ringsidereport.net, donate.ringsidereport.net, and membership.ringsidereport.net. If you don't want to support financially, you can always like this video, subscribe to the channel. Do us a favor. Take care of us. Say hi. Leave a comment. Be cool. Just watch. Enjoy. And we'll see you again real soon. Johnny, before we go, though, your next match, when can people see you in the ring? Wrestling.
So it'll be May 10th, Torch Chamber, Pandemonium 3. Pretty close to where you are. Theater Paradox. It's going to happen. 7 p.m., I believe, bell time, if I'm not mistaken. May
10th, Montreal. There you go. Go check out Johnny North. More info on his Twitter, on his Instagram. Follow all the things. What?
Well, and also this Sunday, I'll be at 1909 watching the hockey game.
Oh,
so if you're a Habs fan, I will be there.
Okay, taking pictures, signing autographs.
Well, no, more enjoying the game, but I don't mind saying hi to hockey fans. It was good. I've seen a bunch of hockey fans the past year or so. Go Habs, go! Regardless of what the Quebec government says, I say that.
Yeah, there you go. And I will be at home.
Hoping the Yankees don't lose again.
Yeah, well, it's a 1 o'clock start tomorrow.
Yes, boy!
Yes, boy.
I don't think we didn't see them tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Kind of rough.
Yeah.
Rusev.
Yeah, I was disappointed. Okay, we'll see you again real soon, Thursday night, 8 p.m. for more Ringside Report MMA, and then, of course, next Friday for more Wrestling Uncensored here on the Ringside Report Network.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again next time, and have a good night.